No great river follows such an unpredictable and curious course as the River Niger of West Africa. It has its source in the hills of Guinea, little more than 200 miles from the sea, but it does not finally merge with the ocean until it has travelled 2,600 miles. Its existence has been known by Europeans for thousands of years, yet no one knew its true course or destination. However, in 1831, Cornishman Richard Lander finally discovered the true course of the river and changed history. 200 years later, on the anniversary of his birth, a team set out to retrace his steps and try and learn more about this extraordinary man's exploits. This is their story. We begin our adventure at Bussa Airport. From here we must travel west to New Bussa, where we will launch the boat and begin the expedition. We are met at the airport by the advance team that includes Steve Dunstan, the expedition leader.
Well, we're just on our way from the airport. I've collected the team. The truck was the first opportunity of viewing it this morning. It's something like a 12-ton cattle truck. I've never seen anything like it. So we've got our baggage in that, but that takes some time to get from the airport to the hotel. But it's just kind of a rough schedule today of getting from the airport to the hotel. Then we have a press conference lined up at 2 o'clock. However, we've got to get the canoe in 3 sections, from the British Club to the British Council, which has our logos on. And it's kind of using that truck to do the transportation. Should be fun around the small streets. But we have pressure to finish the press conference by 3 o'clock, 3:15 at the latest, to get the team up to the Vice President's villa. We have this one opportunity for him to receive the team and for us to do a presentation, and it's one we should not miss. So I think after the visit with the Vice President, we can relax a little bit.
We've arranged for a truck to meet us, which will transport our equipment during the 4-day journey to New Bussa.
Just loading up the truck now. Dave Haney's gone in to open one of the packing cases on board motors, because the trouble is they're brand new motors in boxes. It may be that we'll have to get oils and lubricants and goodness knows what for them. So we're just having to get into the back of the lorry to actually get out an instruction manual. We're getting it.
We leave Abuja and travel west by road. On our way to Bussa, we've been invited to meet with local leaders or emirs. The first of these receptions is in the town of Bida.
We're getting there. We just arrived in His Royal Highness, the Emir of Bida, His Royal Palace, and the team are waiting to receive him. It's really important to get the protocols correct, and it's something I have to pay particular attention to. I've learned a little bit of Nigerian as a welcome, but as it's Ramadan, there's an additional extra bit of Nigerian I'm learning. But then get the order and sequence of events. So I'll try and take my time and respect the protocols, because it is important.
After a short meeting, the Emir invites us to be taken to the centre of town so that we can see what Bida has to offer.
We just left His Royal Highness, the Emir of Bida's Royal Palace, after having a wonderful reception. They've taken us to the town where they make brass. However, there seems to be a lot of silver here. And I think they're keen to actually sort of promote the makings of the brass works for tourism.
The locals seemed very happy to see us. When Landa arrived in this part of Nigeria, however, he received quite a different welcome. He wrote in his journal at the time, "People stand gazing at us with visible emotions of amazement and terror. We are regarded, in fact, in just the same light as the fiercest tigers in England."
Hang on. Say cheese.
We leave Bida and continue our journey west. After 4 days of travelling, we finally arrive at New Bussa, where we aim to launch the canoe. First, however, we are invited to meet His Royal Highness the Emir of Bussa.
Viv Offord, Royal Highness, in charge of our information technology, all the computers and telephones.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much. Fantastic what you've done for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Brian, our photographer, Brian.
How are you? You're most
Thank you.
welcome. You're most welcome.
The Emir informs us that he has planned celebrations in our honour. We are treated to 2 days of music, dancing and feasting. When Landa first arrived in Bussa in 1826, he presented the then Emir with a silver coin that was later turned into a ring. This ring is worn by every successive Emir right up to the present day. We too have brought a silver coin with us and decided to present it to His Royal Highness at the end of the celebration.
This moment today is significant. Personally, it feels like the end of a 4-year project, which myself and my team members have been working to. It is a pivotal moment because the UK Royal Mint recognises the importance of New Bussa. They recognise the value attached to this expedition. And to commemorate the bicentenary of Richard Landa's 200th birthday, they have struck a special, solid silver coin for me to present on behalf of my team today to the Emir of Bussa. It gives me great pleasure, Your Highness, to present to you this silver coin as a symbol of goodwill and as a thank you for your help and to mark the history surrounding New Bussa.
We're going to a school in New Bussa, a primary school, which we're going to rename the Richard Landa School and twin it with the Richard Landa School in Cornwall, which should be pretty good. And while we go, we're going to take some of these little tags. This is from my school, my mum's school, Merton Court School, and they've donated books and pens and stuff. and some funds for the trip. So we're giving out to the kids and they'll have all that. And we've got plenty of other goodies for them too. We've arrived. As you've probably seen again, there's seems to be about 1,000 people here waiting for us. Children dressed in green and khaki. We've just had the national anthem sung to us with a choir and a school band. Just again, unbelievable, quite overwhelming the amount of people here and children to greet us. And what they've got in store for us, I don't know, but I think it's going to be another emotional and quite touching morning.
After a short ceremony, we bring in the boxes of supplies that have been donated by schools in England.
This is where I lose my finger in front of the camera.
The Nigerian ambassador from London is honored. Therefore, the emir will dress him with a gown signifying that. The headmaster of the school should come close to the seat.
Due to a tight schedule, we cannot stay for long at the school, but we still get an incredible send-off. It's the first day of the river part of the expedition, and the mood is upbeat, and the team are looking forward to getting onto the river after days of travelling.
Okay, we're here on the banks of the Niger. The canoe's waiting to be launched. A little town called Farkham. The Emir is here waiting. He's going to bless the flag, which is a Cornish ensign. He will then bring it down, attach it onto the canoe, and have a quick tour just off the beach. They're setting up the flag now, so we're just about ready to go.
So the next activity will be the blessing of the flag by His Royal Highness, the Emir Ugo. He will bless the flags individually by opening them and showing the entire people the flag that this expedition is about to commence. Your Royal Highness, sir. One flag is for the British symbol, Saboda Aka. Emir is blessing the flag, and it will be hung on the boat for the expedition, and it will remain there. Next is the Nigerian flag. Wannan tutar Nigeria kenan sarki ya yi flagging shi kuma ya yi blessing shi. So the Nigerian flag is also blessed with the green, white and green color. So the emir will now proceed to the riverside so that the flag will officially be placed on the boat, and he will bless the boat and enjoy a little ride in the boat.
Mr. Steve, you will sit here with me.
Sorry? What's happening? Well, what's happening? Oh, we've just the emir has blessed the two flags, the Nigerian flag, and also an ensign with the Union Jack on the black and white cross of Cornwall. And we've just launched the boat. The emir went out with a few dignitaries, did a circuit round the bay, and then the expedition team have just done likewise. So that was a ceremonial send-off for the boat. We will now stop for a break, settle ourselves, and then make the full voyage onto the River Niger.
Yeah, this morning basically we actually got the Emir in front of us, and we've got the wall of books and boxes in front of us, and all the best ones, which were basically the presents, we actually popped on the top with all the teddy bears in front of the Emir. All the kids are sort of standing in front of us, absolutely fabulous. And then when we actually came away, all the kids were similar to on the recce team, running after the vehicles, waving and that kind of stuff. And the actual police vehicle, the open back stuff, I was sitting in the back there with the police officers, and they're sort of waving as well. And he turns around to me, and you know how serious they are, with a smile on his face, and says, "That is wonderful to be part of." And I said, "It is very good, isn't it?" And he goes, "It is not normal when we go to places that people have got smiles on their faces. That is a wonderful opportunity." I really do feel now that they actually feel that they're part of this team.
And that's the important message, isn't it? Really?
It is.
You know, that we're spreading a message of goodwill, but to bring other people straight in and just spread it is perfect. Steve, you'd like to say something?
No, I wouldn't actually.
Oh, okay.
Just a bit cheap.
You're not smiling today? You're very unhappy today? Why is that? Ladies, can I take a photo? Huh? Beautiful ladies, I can take a photograph. I'll take a photograph of all
As you can see, putting the awning on the boat. It's a bit of a plumber's nightmare, as Steve put it. I certainly wouldn't have had a clue of how to put it together had Simon not been here, and to be honest, I still haven't got a clue even though Simon is here, but it's going together well. To be honest, before we come on the trip I wasn't too fussed about the awning, but having been out on the boat a bit yesterday and our mammoth trip the other day, we're definitely going to need some shade. Apart from that, everything's going really well. Can't wait to get started on the expedition proper.
Once the awning is up and all the supplies are loaded, we're ready to set off. Half the team will be travelling on the river and the other half will make up the support team and will travel by road to our next meeting point.
Okay, let's go! Go!
It's a very moving moment for most of the team, who after months of planning and 5 days of travelling are finally on the river. This expedition is meant to be a celebration of what the team feels is a forgotten hero. Richard was born poor in Truro, where his father owned the Fighting Cocks pub. The pub was a meeting place for travellers and sailors, and the young Richard would spend hours enthralled by their stories of adventure. So, at the tender age of just 9, he walked to London to seek employment with the explorers of the day. As the sole survivor of the doomed Second Clapperton expedition, he was keen to return to Africa. He volunteered to lead a team to continue Clapperton's failed attempt to determine the course of the Niger. The British colonial office agreed. They wrote to him stating,
"Sir, I am directed by the Secretary George Murray to acquaint to you that it is deemed expedient to accept the offer that you have made to return to Africa, accompanied by your brother for the purpose of ascertaining the course of the Great River, if possible to its termination, wherever that might be."
Our first stop on our journey is Bajibo, a small village on the banks of the Niger where we know that Richard and his brother had stopped. Once again, word has reached the inhabitants that we are coming, and once again they are ready to receive us. Although we saw it many times, the dancing drum's symbolism was lost on us and its meaning was never explained. We felt as Richard must have felt, encountering something completely foreign and different from anything previously experienced.
This expedition is basically a simple river journey, but with a difference. The 200th anniversary is important. We want to raise public awareness of the story of Richard Lander. I think everybody here today knows the story of the Lander brothers, but in England they don't. Only 4 years ago I had not heard of Richard Lander. So the expedition is twofold. It's an expedition of goodwill, and it's also to raise public awareness back home of the Landers' historic journey. The boat that you've seen today is called Goodwill. It's been constructed by Falmouth Marine College in Cornwall. We intend to donate that boat to a youth organisation in Nigeria and hope that once every 2 years the journey of goodwill will be repeated by the people and the youth of Nigeria. And again, I've saved the best till last. As Saldona saw the other day, we had a special ceremony with the Emir of Borgu. 200 years ago, Richard Lander gave the Emir a silver medallion, which was turned into a ring. I'm pleased to say the expedition team members have presented the Emir with a new coin, a new silver coin struck by the Royal Mints in England to commemorate this 200th anniversary, and this in particular, this expedition. It doesn't replace the old coin, that is in history, but it's bringing history from yesterday to today for the youth and the people in the future.
After the speeches, and before we leave, there is still time for one more display of the ever-popular dancing drum.
Welcome.
After another 3 hours on the water, we arrive at Jebba Dam, and the first day of the journey comes to an end. The next morning we encounter an unexpected problem.
Got a tractor in the background, and you see Goodwill being kind of wheeled into position. The intention is to load Goodwill onto that trailer by reversing the tractor a bit further into the water, cart it around via the roadway to the other side of the dam, and then put it in the water. We've also got the support boat donated by John Holt, which is going to undergo the same treatment. The only problem is that Goodwill's a bit on the long side for that trailer, so we might need a bit of jiggery-pokery to get it sorted out.
We leave the boat team to sort out the moving of Goodwill, and leave with the support team to try and sort out transport and accommodation for the rest of the journey.
I've just spoken to Dave on the sat phone. Dave is highlighting things are moving really slowly there. The main problem is there's no transport between Land Team 2 and the Goodwill team. They're transporting slowly the boat from the top of Jebba Dam to the bottom of the dam, but there's no comms between Caroline and Simon. So the driver has failed to turn up for the bus, so they are unable to move and purchase fuel and provisions, and also what's more importantly as well is deliver the 2 boxes of educational supplies to Bajibo and also the 2 boxes to Jebba Chief. So everything is kind of on hold until we source some transport from Government House, which we're going to try today. If it turns out after we go there, pay our respects and courtesy call, possible presentation of a bronze coin to the Deputy Governor if he's returned from Abuja, then we hopefully will obtain some transport for tomorrow. If we don't get any transport, or the driver for the bus we'll have to seriously reconsider exactly where we're going on our departure from Jeddah, which after the events of yesterday, it's quite a sad position to be in. But these problems are sent to rise. We've got to keep the boat moving, and at the moment the boat is not moving. So we may have to start completely considering having a self-contained goodwill team that keeps the boat moving and is actually not involved or embroiled with all the outside politics of the courtesy calls. So Millway, we have been splitting the teams on a daily basis only recently, but I think the events are overtaking us, and we may just have the two separate teams just progressing, and where possible we meet up, but of course we've still got to support the river team. That's safety is a priority. So there's a load of things going around in my head at the moment about achieving all the different objectives, but we will see.
After going to Government House and sorting out the problems with transport, we feel that the team could do us some much deserved rest. So we travel to Ilorin to check into undoubtedly our finest accommodation during the whole trip, where we await the arrival of the rest of the team.
What a day.
So, what about the distance?
All right.
Hello. And a lovely day.
Hi.
Look, you get in the way of the camera.
Explain your face, sir? This face is off an extremely tiring day, but for me it was fantastic. It was just problem solving all the way through. It was we had the boats to sort out. What happened? We had to try and get them out of the water, which was very difficult. We had a tractor and trailer, couldn't lift it onto the trailer. So then eventually we got the trailer into the water because the man who drove the tractor didn't believe that getting the tyres wet on his tractor was the thing to do. So he refused, almost walked off, but eventually coaxed it down a little bit. But we couldn't do it, so we got the trailer out. And it just went on like that. The boat crashed when it was on the road. Then the lorry that came to rescue it, that broke down as well. But eventually it got picked up sideways and was driven down the road, all down a narrow path, right down to the boat edge, the river edge, and put up there. So it's been a really eventful day, but very tiring now. I need some sleep and something to drink.
Once the team have checked in, we are all able to get some much needed rest and prepare ourselves for the next day.
The group is, we've got one group here, which is the boat team. They're actually getting off now. They've got Sunday, who's the boatman. I think he's with his brother Monday and his sister Tuesday. I'm not quite sure. And there they go. There's actually two other teams now, which is Support Team 2, which are going to do all the provisions, shopping, and we're going to go and see the internet, do a bit of surfing, whatever we need to do. And there's the other support team, Support Team 3, who are going to do all the protocols, which is Steve, all the meets and greets, all the tedious stuff really, which we really don't want to do at this stage of the game, because we've had lots of protocols and lots of meets and greets, lots of dancing, lots of everything really, and my tongue is getting a bit, and I can't really speak anymore. Okay.
We set off with the support team and begin the long journey to where we've agreed to meet the boat crew. The constant travelling is starting to take its toll on the team, but we eventually make it to our destination, Shonga. Once here, we must leave the road and travel cross country to get to the river's edge where we can meet up with Goodwill.
Basically, we need to get over this bridge. There's another village on the other side of the bridge. a bit further down there where the boat is apparently. Trouble is, we can't get. I've had a look at the bridge, and it's too dangerous to take the minibus over. I just don't think the bridge will hold the weight, especially I have to say with the standard of driving around here. It might be able to get across, it might not. The consequences if it doesn't get across could be catastrophic. If he gets across, then good luck to him, fair one. You know, all the better for us. But
We've got to get back.
I'm not going to say I didn't tell you so.
Once we've successfully negotiated the bridge, we continue onwards and meet up with the boat team.
Sweaty.
Crikey.
Sorry.
How you doing?
All right, yeah.
How long have you been here?
Oh, excellent. It's good to see you all. We had a good trip, 3 and a bit hours down the Niger. We went past this village of Tada. Oh, just been stung by something. Of Tada. But we realised we made a mistake, and we turned around and found all the people waving and everything for us. And they received us on the banks, left our gear there and went into the town where they explained to us they'd lost some brass things that had been made a long time ago, which were taken to Lagos.
Oh, ants.
Being bitten by ants. We could call this a day now. As you can see, all the children and most of the adults for the town of a little village of Tada by the side of the Niger has come out to greet us. They're all very well organised at the moment, but at the slightest provocation they'll burst into riotous applause and laughing and everything like that. Yeah, it's really good actually. I don't know what I can do to provoke them. I don't know what I can do. Show them your, turn your video around. Can you see the video? Can you see you? I know what I'll do. I'll take a picture.
As we travel back into Shonga, the locals are ready to receive us. There has been, however, some confusion about which explorer we represent, and so we arrive into town to shouts of welcome Mungo Parks, who is another explorer of the Niger. As the rest of the team goes to pay their respects to the emir of the region, a local imam offers to show us around the town's half-built mosque. The imam tells us that the town's council hasn't enough money to finish the mosque, and that it's been like this for 4 years. The town's leaders offer us a place to stay for the night, which we gratefully accept.
I think we still need to push off a bit more. We're going to Hajiji. We're having trouble getting off the mud. Still can't get off.
The next day, we set off for Patiji with the boat crew.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
As we travel down the river, we all have time to reflect on what hardships Lander must have experienced during his journey. Although most of the team are feeling quite exhausted and badly in need of a rest, our complaints pale in comparison when you consider what Rich and his brother went through. He writes in his journal that by this stage of the journey, they had already encountered electric storms, whirlpools, hippos, crocodiles, and strangely, a hideous female dwarf. Things were about to get worse, however. On the 5th of November 1830, the Lander brothers saw 50 heavily armed war canoes heading towards them. At first they were overjoyed to see that the canoes were flying the Union Jack. Their joy soon turned to despair, however, as they realised that they were local river pirates. The pirates rammed the Landers' canoe, which then capsized and sank. The brothers were convinced they were going to be killed, but instead the pirates took them hostage and continued downriver. After an uneventful day's travelling, we arrive at Batiji and meet up with the rest of the team at a local guest house.
We're currently in a hotel in Batiji.
Oh, he's gone out.
We've travelled by road today for about an hour and a half from Ilori.
Did you want to drink?
We've been to see the emir, or it's now not called an emir here, it's called an etsu, which is just a different cultural name for an emir. And we've seen him, and we're with the advance party to make sure that everything was okay for the team to arrive. But apparently we were a day late, so they're a bit disappointed because they had all loads of people from different villages coming to celebrate. So they've had to rejig, and they're going to do it again for us this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
In order to celebrate our arrival, the local emir, or etsu as they are now called, has invited us to come to a regatta. The regatta was a brilliant morale booster, and the next morning we're back on the river preparing for another day. Our destination today is the confluence, where the Benue River joins the Niger. However, it's too far to make in a single day, so we've come prepared to camp out by the banks of the river.
just setting up camp. We've spent the day on the river. It's definitely hot, and we're now arrived at a Sunday bank, which we thought was an island originally. I don't think it is. It's part of the land, and there have been cattle here at some point. But at the moment, there are us and 3 people have come to visit us from the village across the river. So that's quite nice, and they've said they're happy that we're camp on here. And we're setting up a camp. So we've got tents for everybody, including the Nigerian staff, and we're working out mosquito nets and hopefully have a campfire, cook some food and watch the view.
After the camp is set up, we watch the sunset and then get some much needed sleep.
How did you get the balls out? Is there a knife or you just... They're quick balls. Just push them out.
Pretty good.
Balancing act.
Yeah, how solid is it? Oh, not bad.
Till it burns down.
Okay.
Did you have a good night's camping, Carolyn?
An interesting night. Don't know, it's can't claim to have had that much sleep, but it was certainly an experience. There were an awful lot of mosquitoes and other flies, and even once you got in the tent, it was just so hot. I think everyone found it a bit hot and sticky. But we're all here, we've all made it, and we're just cooking up. We're gonna have a cup of tea, some breakfast.
Feels good.
Everyone's getting washed, cleaned up, and hopefully get back on the river within the hour, which would be great.
Once we're back on the river, we've finished the journey we started yesterday and arrive at the confluence. When we arrive, we travel to a point where we can truly appreciate the importance of this place to Landers Voyage.
Okay, so we're standing here at the confluence of the Benue and the Niger. This was incredibly important to the Landers because they came here in October 1830, and they were the first white people to actually discover this confluence. They thought it may have been part of the Niger, and they tried to paddle up the river, but they were swept back down by the current. So their discovery really was just about the last piece in the jigsaw of the mystery of the river, because they confirmed that this was the meeting place of the two rivers. This solved the mystery as to whether the Niger in fact had turned eastward again and gone back into the Sahara. This, as I said, major discovery, and from now on they knew that they were heading down towards the sea. In fact, this area is where they first came across a seagull, which I think was one of the first indications that although still a long way to go, they were going in the right direction. So it's a very important spot.
We spend the night at the confluence and the next morning prepare for our penultimate river journey.
The team split up in many ways, more than I'd imagined. We've got the Goodwill boats, we have 6 up to try and keep the speed going. We've got the John Holt boat, which has 3 police and equipment and fuel. I'm going to speak about fuel, we're talking about 310 litres here, just to ensure that we get to our destination by sort of 4 p.m. tomorrow. We have a land team, which is based of a minibus. We hoped it was going to be a 22-seater. We've got an 18-seater. We've got the Toyota and the police vehicle. Now these 3 land-based vehicles will hopefully see us off, help with the distribution of goods, the bags, but then they've got a task of changing some money, going to Guinea to ensure that there's accommodation for the majority of the team. At the moment we don't know what's actually at that village, if there's sufficient accommodation. But the Goodwill team will go past that destination, maybe 1 or 2 hours, just to ensure an early start tomorrow. I mean, it's now it's 7:45. I was looking at 8:30 departure, so I told the whole team to leave at 6:30. Things just take an awful long time, but all being well, that we should be going away soon, and ultimately reach our destination by 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Today we travel to the small village of Igenabodi. We are welcomed in the same way that we've been welcomed everywhere else in Nigeria, with great hospitality and warmth.
Well, we got a text message as we passed this village to say that the reception and the people have been waiting here for ages, so we turned our boat around to come back. To look a bit of finding to find here, because we're on the opposite channel, because there's an island in the river. We've come up here and walked up the steps to a small greeting. And as we approach here, we're surrounded by these ladies here who are just absolutely fascinated and want to hug me and shake hands, and they are ultra friendly. So I don't know what's in store now, maybe much better things to come now. So I'm looking forward to it, and if it carries on with this friendliness. Hello! Then I'm in for a big treat tonight then.
Once again, the village offers us a place to stay for the night, and we all go to sleep thinking about our last day on the river. The next morning, we prepare for the final leg of the journey.
Okay, we're in Igenabodi, and today's the last day of sailing. We're sailing into Asaba, which seems incredible after all this time, all the planning and all the trip, and the boat's actually here and on its way, well, will be on its way to Asaba this morning.
Last night here was alright. We had a meal down at the riverside. We had fish and rice that was all cooked especially for us and locally, and had a few beers there, and then came back to the hotel and had a few more. So it was a good evening actually, and we all sat down and had a good chat. A bit hot last night, didn't sleep very well, so I'm a bit tetchy today.
5 hours of travelling later, and we meet up with the Goodwill team who have spent the night on the river.
Should we just stay here rather than...
What's going on? Fantastic night out, apart from the midges. Made good progress today. All we're missing last night was a bottle of beer, I think. Would have made it, but it was really good night out. Swimming in the River Niger, which you might regret at a later date, but who cares? No, it's a good night, very good night.
Did you have fun camping?
Yes, I love camping.
Do you?
Yeah. It's a very nice thing. It's my first experience in life, camping with a white man in the bush along the river bank. So it's very interesting. Yes.
Once we've met up with the boat team, we travel together to a final destination, Asaba. We've decided to end our journey here, because once Richard and his brother had been kidnapped by the river pirates, this is where they were taken and sold to the king of the Igbo people. They were then taken downriver to Brasstown, where they were sold again to King Boy. After travelling for 3 days as the king's hostages, they finally reached the sea. The lander's mission was over. They had navigated the true course of Niger and proved their hypothesis right. Now all they had to do was escape with their lives in order to inform England of their discovery. Luckily, there was a British ship moored offshore of the coast, and Richard managed to persuade the captain to pretend he was willing to pay King Boy the ransom he was demanding for their return. Once on board, the ship made its getaway in a fierce storm. The brothers finally arrived in Portsmouth in June 1831. On their return, they were at first treated well. Their journals were bought for a handsome sum, and they were invited for an audience with the king. The Colonial Office, however, treated them terribly. It gave John no rewards at all and refused Richard a pension, even as he suffered from fever. 2 years later, Richard was leading an expedition back up the Niger when their canoes were attacked and Richard was shot. He survived for 2 more days but then died on the island now known as Bioko. As a working class hero, his exploits and courage were made known to only a few and his accomplishments were soon forgotten. As we travel into a final docking place, our thoughts are with Richard Lander, who centuries ago travelled down this very stretch of river, not as we did today with our engines and 21st century equipment, but with only his courage and ingenuity to protect him.
Very good. It's quite nice actually coming in. It's a strong current running in this little I don't know what you call it actually, little stream of water between the main channel and an island, which is the middle of the stream. But no, it's good coming in. There's a reasonable reception here. No problems with the boat. I think they had a few problems during the day with fuel and stuff like that. But no, it's been fantastic. It's good to finish it on a high note, I think. And none of us fell in, and all the life jackets are still intact, which is really good, really good.
Really pleased to be here, but a bit sad because it's the last day on the river. We thought it might take a bit longer. We're spending a bit more time on the river, but yeah, quite good to have completed the journey that landers have done, and quite touching to be here. But really pleased, been a challenge, and now we can relax a little bit maybe and enjoy ourselves.
Well, like Russell says, after this massive journey, 700 kilometres on the River Niger, we have now made it here, so it's been an absolutely worthwhile trip. All the fun and glory, the colours are superb, but I'm so pleased I've done it now and been part of a great team and support team from the Nigerian Expedition Society, the police who have been spectacular in supporting us and keeping us safe, which is obviously the most important part of this as well. So thank you to everyone, and obviously everybody out there who's looking at this as well. So thank you.
How do you feel?
Yeah. I really thank God that we'll be able to get to this place. I think I can say this third journey is the best journey so far, apart from other journeys I've been making. So I really thank God. So I wish you good luck.
Yeah, it's been a good trip. It's been sort of challenging, it's rewarding, it's been very difficult as well. It's kind of balancing the actual expedition with the courtesy calls and the commitments and dealing with the logistical problems, but generally very happy to be here safe and well. Now just make sure everyone gets home safe and well.
Our journey complete, our thoughts turn to home. We cannot leave, however, without performing one last English tradition.